Hey everybody, you're tuned into the Coach's Corner. However, you may be watching or listening. If you're listening on 104.9 The River, watching on Spectrum Channel 197, ITV Chattanooga, we appreciate you tuning in. Our guest this week, head coach of the Marion County Warriors, Coach Dale Pruitt. How you doing, Coach?
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming to do this.
Sure.
I guess just to start us off, talk about where you started out coaching. I know you started in Plainview for a while. Plainview, I'm sorry, for a while there. Long tenure, won a lot of games in Alabama. And then you came to Marion County and coached for a couple seasons around 04 and 04, 05. Left, and then now you're back, and this is your second year in the second tenure, right?
Right. Well, I started in Alabama. That's where I'm from. Actually, I coached a couple of three places before I coached at Plainview. Plainview was my second head job. I think all total I've been at Plainview 29 years or something like that, two different stints. But since I left the last time, I've been at Plainview for, I believe it's 9 years, and I went down to Albertville for 4. Come back by Dade County for a year, and now I'm back at Marion County.
So what brought you back to Marion County?
Well, this part of the country likes football.
That's for sure.
And if you're going to do something, it needs to be important. And I think it's important to the community. It's important, it matters. Some places is getting to where if you can't hardly tell on Friday night if I got a football game there or not. And some of them places win doing that, but I enjoyed it the last time I was here, and I actually went back to coach my oldest son's son, and but I had retired and was basically went to Dade because I double dipped, and this job came open, had no idea, and I ended up here, and I'm excited.
What can you say the differences are in everything between the first stint at Marion County and now being back? How's the school different? How are the kids different?
Well, it's been 15 years, so everything has changed everywhere. But we've had some scheduling as far as the daily schedule for the coaches. It's better. Some things that we're able to do that we weren't able to do last time that's going to help. And but basically it's it doesn't matter if you're in Tennessee or if you're in Georgia, if you're in Alabama. Football's football, and you win the same way. And but sometimes things help you get your job done better. And I think that's some things that has happened since I've been gone.
Is there any? I know you said football is football. Are there differences in 2A here and 3A in Alabama coaching at Plainview? Are there similarities, differences?
There's always similarities everywhere. When I was at Albertville, we were a 6A team who's now a 7A team, which they got 1,500 students in the top 4 grades. So that's the people you play against have more coaches, more people, and all that kind of stuff. But at the bottom line, you got to be sound. It's a little more difficult sometimes at smaller schools because you got more kids playing multiple positions. You got kids playing multiple sports. You got 3 coaches coaching multiple positions, where when you're at a larger school, they may only have, one position or one part of a position or whatever. So, but anyway, by and large, you win the same way.
And would you say I'm sure it has. How has it helped you to go and experience coaching at those, schools with more equipment, more coaches? How has it helped you coming back to Marion County?
I think it helps, but you still got the big thing you got to do is use all your kids. Okay, at a smaller school, you got to use all your kids. Sometimes at a big school, one may get specialized when you don't need to be, and that's something that we got to be very careful about. So I think that's opened up my eyes a little bit, seeing that hey, let's make sure we don't specialize these kids. Let's make sure they can play on both sides of the ball if needed or whatever. The biggest thing, you just can't run them in the ground. we try to never play a kid every snap. If he plays every snap on offense, we don't want him to play more than half the snaps on defense, if possible. And usually that'll work out. It usually works itself out. But, the bottom line is this time of the year it's hot. This time of the year people are banged up and all that kind of stuff. And you got to get them to the first game as healthy as possible. And, that's for all of us.
I was going to ask about that. I know you guys are out there practicing out in this heat. I could not imagine. I know it's got to be tough.
Last week was really, really warm. But, and it's tougher now than it used to be because of the way we live now. I don't say everybody don't, but most people have air conditions. We don't, there's not near as much working out in the hot sun as it used to be. So when you get out there and practice in the hot sun, it's a little tougher on you. And so therefore we got all these guidelines to help protect kids, which is good. And, but, 50 years ago, all that stuff was never heard of. But, nobody had air conditioning. Everybody worked outside, so it was used to it. So, that's changed. That's made it we're in a different world.
Kind of speaking to that, I know kids these days, high school kids, they got cell phones, social media. That's not as much prevalent in 04, 05. Is that something you've had to adjust to?
Yes. I can remember the first time I carried a cell phone. I can remember before I carried a cell phone, my wife made me put a thing so that she could buzz me if she needed me, and now then, kids, they might have one in each hand, and that's the big deal nowadays is our social media, good or bad, however you want to believe it. But the bottom line is we don't use our bodies near as much. Somebody was talking about there, he had a kid that said he thought he was going to quit. I think it was another sport. Said, what are you going to do? He said, well, I believe I'm going to get better on some Madden games or something. He said, whoa, you're not going to do that. If you're not going to play a sport, you can get a job somewhere you do something, which more parents should be that way. The best thing we could do is make our kids put the phones up when they go to bed too, because they don't sleep when they go to bed. They take the phones with them.
And that's kind of getting close to college preparation,
Right.
Getting kids ready to be on a schedule, and
Sure.
You got to deal with that at all, getting kids, making sure their schedules.
Well, I mean, everything is, the world, technology is not all bad. Like now then you can have a film broke down before you could ever get a film back, used to. Okay, every coach could have their films and their position broke down before we could ever get one back. Used to, we watched, first time we got to see a kid on film was the first scrimmage we had. Now then, we got drones in the sky and everything else at every practice. So you can go right in after practice and watch what you did that day. And you can show the kid. And they have access to it. You got all the huddle and all that kind of stuff. You can make kids that have access to it. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But for the most part, if they can see what their good part, their things they do well and things they don't do well, that helps. That helps improve and build off of it.
And I'm not trying to age you here. I'm not trying to say, but is it weird to have reached that level? Thinking back to early days.
It is in a lot of ways. We were coming back from, and I think I may have mentioned this. I alluded to it earlier on some other interview, but we were coming back from a lineman camp. Someone asked the questions about somebody who was in a vehicle in front of us. You could not see them, but they could tell you what mile marker they were at, how fast they were going, and what kind of music they were listening to. Well, used to, you had a pay phone on the side of the road that might be jerked out of it might work and it might not. And nobody had any way of communicating. You actually looked at maps and road signs instead of instead of somebody over there telling you to turn here and turn there, instead of you arguing with a person on the deal. So it's changed a ton. Different way we treat injuries, the whole 9 yards, and it is for the better. But it makes it where you don't just throw a ball down out there and go practice. You better be prepared to do something to make you better because the other teams are. Mm-hmm. And the game will pass you by in a hurry. And I ought to know, I've been in it over 40 years. and it's a totally different game than it was 40 years ago. Now, it was more physical in a lot of ways. The rules have changed, and a lot of that's come from the NFL to try to be safe, peel back blocks. Used to, you could block below the waist, you could crack back below the waist, you could do all that kind of stuff. Nowadays, they'll put you in jail for doing that kind of stuff.
Certainly a lot of changes to the
Yes,
game of football.
a
Some
lot.
for the better, I would say.
Yes.
Well, we got Coach Pruitt here. This is the Coach's Corner. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to run down a little bit of the team, get into the schedule a little bit. We'll be right back.
They're back. Western Sizzlin' is now open, offering kitchen menu items including their new grilled Atlantic salmon. Or enjoy side items like fried okra, baked potatoes, macaroni and cheese, a new salad bar, fresh baked yeast rolls, and dessert choices. At Western Sizzlin', full catering service is available, as well as parties of up to 10 per table. For their to-go customers, Western Sizzlin' is now offering delivery with dinnerdelivered.com or curbside pickup at 423-942-5777. Come on by and give Western Sizzlin' a try and enjoy their new hours. That's right, Western Sizzlin' is now open 7 days a week, 10:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. Western Sizzlin', located just off I-24 at exit 155, 1130 Tennessee Highway 28 in Jasper. Western Sizzlin', they can't wait to serve you. And don't forget, now offering delivery with dinnerdelivered.com or curbside pickup at 942-5777. Western Sizzlin'. At Comfort Gallery in Kimball, comfort is key. And right now, Comfort Gallery has everything you need to give your living space an upgrade and maximize your comfort. Shop their inventory now for a huge selection of recliners in stock and ready to go. Maybe it's a lift chair you need. Comfort Gallery has a great selection ready for immediate delivery. Also, a variety of name brand sofas to make your living room complete. Comfort Gallery also has an assortment of dining room sets to fit any taste. Relax and unwind and get your best night's sleep with a new mattress. Comfort Gallery has many great brands and all sizes in stock and available for delivery today, along with a large inventory of wooden bedroom suits in many styles. And if you don't see what you're looking for, just ask. Our full-color interactive kiosk is available to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Comfort Gallery offers free delivery and setup, free financing with 6 months same as cash, and free layaway. Located at 780 Main Street, 1 mile north of I-24, exit 152A in Kimball. Comfort Gallery.
Hey everybody, we're back with the Coach's Corner. This week we got head coach of the Marion County Warriors, Dale Pruitt, on. Wanted to get into the roster a little bit, learn a little bit more about the team. For those that don't know, I work at the newspaper, Marion County News. We got our nice backdrop there. And I actually was able to come out to a practice. We do a Spotlight Player of the Week every week, and a couple weeks ago it was Michael Showalter from the team. That's a big old kid.
Big kid.
Well, what can you tell us about Michael Showalter?
Michael's had a really good summer, off season. He's worked very hard. Been to several camps, trying to possibly get an opportunity to play after high school. Had a very good first scrimmage. Come off the ball well, blocked well. He's 320 plus pounds, or right around 320. He's a kid that's pretty mobile for that size. He has good hands, so he's more than just a big kid. He's a big skilled kid, and we hope he stays healthy, and we expect good things out of him this year.
Yeah, hopefully he can help you guys out. I think with his size, just skills, potential, it'd be a shame if he didn't, make it to play on Saturdays.
He had a good junior year. He played well last year, and a lot of kids his size don't play tight end. That's kind of an unusual, but he's a force when he blocks down. He does a good job.
And he said he likes to play wherever you put him on defense. That was his answer.
He's played linebacker. He's played defensive end. Trying to look at him a little more on defensive end. Basically because they're not hardly much running around, and we like to steal every rep we can with him in the ball game, and it's hard for big boys to play the whole ball game this time of the year.
And that's what you were saying. Try to keep kids from playing every snap.
Yeah.
He may be one that
He's
you got to
definitely
make
one.
his count, I think.
Right.
And then we'll go from a big guy to a little bit smaller, less big guy, I'll say.
Right.
We got Tay Hutchins, definitely someone to watch out for? What can you tell us about him?
He's another one that's had an outstanding off season. He's worked very hard. He's been all over the country. You know, he had over 1,700 yards of total offense last year. Played well defensively. He's a return guy. He's just a very hard worker. He can play quarterback. He can play wide receiver. He can play running back. And, you know, he's definitely one of the leaders of our team.
Do you see a lot of guys that can pull that off at this level of high school?
Well, you don't see a lot of guys that work as hard as either one of these two guys work, as far as getting themselves in shape, getting themselves doing a little extra, and you know, they're not the only ones that has done that, but they have done a good job. We have some others that's also done that, but you know, these are two that had good years last year, and we just want to build off of that.
I wanted to take it to you and just hear from you. Who are some guys on the team that you've personally been impressed with this past couple weeks working?
Mason Kill's another we've been impressed with. Mason he's got some offers at several small schools. Mason's about 220. He plays linebacker for us. He plays H-back for us. He's a wrestler in all season, that kind of stuff. He's a good football player, and all three of them lead by example. And you know, they're not guys that rah 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 and all that kind of stuff. And they've had outstanding off season.
Those wrestlers, those are the guys you don't mess with there. You see the cauliflower ear, and you already it's no good to get involved with that. You got anyone else that's really stood out and think you really going to help you?
Some other kids that's, you know, on the verge or had good years last year that, you know, maybe have not gotten as much, didn't get as much press or whatever. I think that Riley Rogers has had a good fall. Riley he played well last year. Riley has really good speed. He's learned to play without the ball as far as blocking and that kind of stuff. Doing a good job in the secondary. Really good cover kid. He's also had a good off season, and we expect, you know, things from him. Frank Edwards is another skilled kid that he was playing really well last year, and he got injured about the first or second ball game. Had an agony injury all year, slowed him down, and but this year he seems to be full speed. He's back. He's a kid that. He makes plays. He seems to be on defense. He plays the ball in the air very well. Him and Tay both, and he's also may get a little more offensive punch for us. And some kids that, you know, another kid that might have been overshadowed last year that really had a good scrimmage the other night was Austin Anderson. Austin didn't play football his sophomore year, so his junior year. He's playing catch up all the time. It seemed like he was always a step slow and all that. He was very intelligent, but now he played at a different level last week. Played downhill from the secondary, made a ton of plays. He's a very quiet, very good leader, and you know, those guys at skill positions have really helped us. But the difference in us winning and losing against good football teams is going to be the guys up front. Mm-hmm. We have several kids that can play in the line of scrimmage. They got to play with a little lower pad level, got to finish blocks. But now, you know, there's a lot of them that don't get recognition because they are offensive linemen. You know, you got one of them at Allender is a 3-year starter at center. And, you know, he does all the snapping on long snaps, punt snaps, all that kind of stuff. Very important. You know, and we've got several that fit that little deal. Also another kid that come on last year for us was Dylan Fulfer. Dylan does all of our punting, all our kicking off, all of our field goals, and plays tight end and some defensive end. And so, you know, that's a pretty big load.
Yeah, it's a wide range of positions.
He's very, very important to our football team. Folks like him, you know, we've got to have good years. We've got to keep them healthy because the kicking game, when he gets hurt, it drops way off. Mm-hmm. And that's very important. But we do have. I can't go into all the offensive linemen because of the fact that we play 2 tight ends most of the time, and we play. We rotate our offensive and defensive lines, but they've been, as a committee, have been pretty solid.
And it's not a pretty position, not one
No.
that gets a ton of recognition, but it's arguably one of the more important positions. You got to have a good offensive line.
A good friend of mine, when he coached when he was a head coach, he always let his offensive line sit on the front seat of the bus going in where they went, and they got the first picks of the seats. He said because if they won, it was because of them, and if they didn't, there's going to people would holler and scream, because if you don't get a first down, it don't matter if the back hits the wrong hole. Everybody hollers at the offensive line. They're not blocking anybody, and they may be blocking the right people. He might be going the wrong way. So, but anyway, they are unsung heroes.
They definitely are. We appreciate the linemen here at the Coach's Corner. We see you guys, and we appreciate you. Coach, we're going to take another break here, and when we come back, we'll get into the schedule a little bit.
Okay.
Sound good? All right,
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Harbin Automotive, located at 570 Micah Way in Scottsboro, has over 600 vehicles in stock and guarantees with Harbin's value pricing. Any customer can rest assured they're paying the lowest price anywhere in the nation on every model line that Harbin has in stock. Providing a range of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles, anyone at Harbin Automotive, from the knowledgeable staff of the Business Development Center to the fully staffed finance department, all Harbin employees can help customers find the price and style they're searching for, while the service department can get that new car ready to be driven from the lot or the showroom in a matter of minutes. Shopping for a new or used vehicle can be a big decision. However, that doesn't mean it can't be one that's enjoyed by everyone. Visit Harbin Automotive, 570 Micah Way in Scottsboro. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Call 256-259-6400 or shop online anytime at harbinautomotive.com. Make the short drive and save at Harbin Automotive, Scottsboro, Alabama.
I look to the tower for vision, because someday I'll have to send him to college, and I want to be ready.
We look to the tower for strength, because cash flow sometimes doesn't flow at all. You need a strong partner behind you.
My family looks to the tower for innovation.
Well, that and lollipops for the children.
Look to the Tower. Tower Community Bank. A higher standard. TowerCommunityBank.com.
All right, everybody, we're back with the Coach's Corner. Got Coach Pruitt. We're going to get into the upcoming season, talk about some games, get in detail about some things. I know next Thursday, August 12th, you guys are going to be at Finley Stadium. No relation to me, by the way, but you're going to be at Finley Stadium for the Jamboree,
Right.
playing against Sell Creek and East Ridge.
Right.
What are you looking for out of your team when you go?
Well, I know nothing about either one of those teams, and it's preseason game, so it's all about us. We want to see how physical we play against someone else, someone in a bigger school and that kind of stuff. We want to be able to make sure we take care of the football, and you want to always play with courage, and so it's one of them type games. It's not a game where you design to do this or that. You just go. Basically, it's a glorified practice. But we're proud to have it in Finley Stadium. We're proud for our kids to get in there and get some exposure, and we're excited.
Now, I know you're approaching a milestone win. Is that correct? You're coming up on...
Well, yeah, I guess 300.
Yes.
Somebody asked me about that the other day, and I said, well, if I was any kind of coach, I'd already had 300. I've got way too many losses to go with my wins. But anyway, it's all about the kids, and that's what it needs to be about, and whenever that happens, if it's the first game or the last game, I'll probably try to get them to sign a football and go to the next play, and let's go on, because it's about the kids and it's about the season. But I'll be the first to say that football's been really good for me and my family, and I've never wanted to do anything else.
And I don't want to speak for the team, but I can imagine they'll be excited for you to get that milestone win. I think
I don't want to downplay it for them, and I'll be. If I said I wasn't excited, I'd be lying. you work hard, you spend a lot of time, you're away from your family. They give up a lot. So, every win's important. Every win's fun.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about this. First year in a long time, there's going to be no South Pittsburgh on the schedule. I know how it came about is a little bit of murky waters, but does that hurt your schedule at all, you think? How does that affect your season?
Well, the way we were able to do it, we were supposed to come to South Pittsburgh this time. So that, as far as the financial part of it, would be no financial. The next year, would be coming to us. Well, I got a team out of Georgia that said that they would come that year. So that covers that. And, Coach Jones and I have known each other forever. We've gone to coaching clinics together. We have no hard feelings. When we talked, actually I called to congratulate him about the job, and we talked, and he felt like that we didn't need to play, and that's fine. To me, I'm old enough that I realize that these type rivalries are important and everything, but they're more so important for older people, to be honest with you. And I wouldn't say that they're not important, but I'm saying that years ago when you started playing in the region, that all of a sudden region games, we had some rivals everywhere I've been. And if they were a region game, I just meant they were that much more of a rival. But if they weren't a region game, a lot of people couldn't understand, well, that's, about a coach's attitude towards a region game to an unregion. Of course, playing South Pittsburgh was always a big challenge. It's always something I look forward to. I got a lot of respect for South Pittsburgh, and in fact, the first thing I said when I called Coach was, "Hey, Coach, congratulations on the job. Am I supposed to start hating you now?" Because that's what everybody that's rivals say. I hate this and I hate that, and I'm thinking, there a lot of these folks are your kin folks, they're your neighbors. Their parents might have went to school up there. So as a football coach and really as players, kind of when the game is over, it's over. But if you work in the factories and that kind of stuff, and you got to hear old Joe talk about it for 365 days out of the year, that's where the rivals get bitter. I think kids get over it. But the whole deal, you remember, which I understand. I understand the whole pageantry of the whole deal, okay? But, maybe I've not lived here long enough to hate South Pittsburgh enough. I don't know. But I played against Fife, and I played against all these other guys that was my rivals. Scottsboro when I was at Fort Payne, all that. Everybody thinks they got the most heated rival, but I will say, the 2 years that I was involved in this rivalry, it is a heated rivalry. There's no ands, buts, or buts. There's no, people say, I'm wait just a minute. South Pittsburgh and Marion County, there's some real hate there, And there's some good, people play against each other and all that kind of stuff. But, I said all that to say this. It kind of is what it is. We'll go on. But I guess I just hadn't been here long enough to get tied up in all the little shoestring things that happens and all that kind of stuff. I see where Coach is coming from. I got to worry about my program. So that's kind of the way it is. And coaches that's been on the staff lately, Sean Peak was my first quarterback who coached here. Freddie Tidmore, I hired him right out of college. That's two that was here pretty good, and them were two pretty good ones. Okay, so and Sean had called me back and forth while he was the DC here about things that was going on. About what would you do this coach. So that I had some ties at South Pittsburgh that are very positive ties. And just talking about Coach Jones. The last time I saw Coach Jones before he got the job was in Jeremy's office. He hugged my neck and I hugged his neck. He was with the Cleveland Browns, so because we're not going to play, am I going to get all bent out of shape? No, I still like Chris Jones, that's the bottom line.
I think that's a good place to leave it and let it be.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
let
it is
folks-
what it is,
Yeah.
and you know, that's for both programs. You know, it's not, you know, I've got a lot of respect for South Pittsburgh football. Heck, you can go down the road and look at the signs. If you ain't got respect for that, then, you know. But I will say this, that's why we're all in it.
Mm-hmm.
South Pittsburgh wants to win state championships. Marion County wants to win state championships. If we don't, we need to be at the house.
I heard that. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. We're sort of
Sure.
building a little bit of a tradition here.
Good.
We have all our guests, if I can grab it.
Okay.
We have all our guests sign a signature ball, and hopefully we're hoping to get all the team to sign this, if you don't mind throwing
Okay.
the signature on
Oh, my
there.
team?
Yeah, at some point.
Am
we'd
I
like
going to
to-
carry this home with me, or am I going to leave it here?
We're going to leave it here. I'll come
Okay.
out there for it.
So am I supposed to put Dale Pruitt, go Warriors Dale Pruitt, or what?
Whatever you want, just whatever you... just
So who else is signing this? The next guy that comes in here?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
This is all Marion County right there. That's all you guys. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in while we're getting this signed. I'd like to thank however you're with us. I appreciate you tuning in. Next week, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to Whitwell to talk to Coach Rocky Stevenson, so that one should be fun. Coach Pruitt, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming to do this. Until next week, this has been the Coach's Corner.